Did you leave a comment on the last Q&A video? Well, guess what? In this Q&A video, I might just be answering that question or that comment. And if you didn't leave a question or a comment, let me tell you, you can leave one on this video and I might just pick it out and answer it on the next Q&A video. Try to do these about every week or so, every other week. Now, I will give a little disclaimer in this video. I am using some footage that was, originally it was a Facebook exclusive video. So those watching on YouTube, you may not have seen this footage before, but those of you watching on Facebook, you may have already seen this footage. We have the amazing Amanda out stacking some firewood. That is going to be our footage that we roll in the background as I answer some of your questions and comments, like I said, that you left on the last Q&A video. So if you have a question, if you have a comment, something that you want me to answer that you don't get to, that maybe you don't get to ask on a live stream, or maybe you've been wondering, you've left it in a comment on a video, well, leave it in a comment on this video, and I will try to pick it out. I only take a handful from each week, so sometimes there's quite a few, sometimes there's not too many. All right, but let's get right on down into it. So there you go. We've got the amazing one out there stacking some firewood as we answer some questions. And the first question we have is just, who is Amanda? Well, Amanda would be the lovely lady right there you see stacking the firewood, and she would be my wife. I get questions all the time wondering if she is my daughter, and no, she is not. She is my wife, and we have been married coming up here on New Year's Eve. So in a week or two, it will be our 10th year wedding, our 10th anniversary, our 10th wedding anniversary. New Year's Eve. So get ready, because that December 30th live stream on Friday night is going to be both the big giveaway and a little wedding anniversary celebration that we will be having right here on the Friday Night live stream. So that's who Amanda is. The next question from Brandon. What kind of farming did Senior do when you were growing up? So growing up, my dad was a dairy farmer. We had a small herd, nothing too big. I think that the point that the herd was the largest, it was around maybe 45, 50 head. So nothing too huge, not a big operation. But yes, he was a dairy farmer. So growing up, those were my chores, was working out in the barn, in the fields, in the sheds, feeding the calves, cleaning the stalls, all that fun stuff. Next question. Lee Collins. Is your firewood business a full-time job for you? And this wraps in and ties in with another question we had from Ed. Hey Dan, I enjoy your videos. Is that what you do for a living? Ed from St. Croix. So kind of a couple different things there. I don't know if Ed was talking about the videos or the firewood. Lee was talking about the firewood. So the firewood is not my full-time job. It is more of just like a side hustle. And making the videos became a side hustle to the side hustle. So starting out, I started selling firewood just kind of as a hobby. And I also started creating videos kind of as a hobby. So they're kind of just two little hobbies, two little side hustles merged together into one. But that is not my full-time job. Not yet, anyway. All right. The next question, the small woodlot. If you had to replace your outdoor boiler, what would you get? I would probably get another outdoor wood boiler. I would probably see what models, and I know Woodmaster has some newer units that are kind of comparable to the one I have. I'm not sure I would go the full gasification model or not. And the reason being, well, other than they seem to have a little more maintenance involved with them. But the other reason is that they are like 40% more efficient as far as burning less wood. and I actually need to burn more wood. I'm considering burning wood all summer long this year coming up because I've got piles and piles of it to get rid of. But I would definitely stick with the outdoor wood boiler, furnace, something like that. Hopefully, I don't have to make that decision for a few more years, like 10, 15. That would be nice. So now we have a question. How do you deal with termites? Well, we don't have termites where I am located here in Wisconsin, so I don't have to deal with them at all. I do have to deal with ants. And the one thing with the ants, anytime there's ants in a log or in some of the wood, generally what happens is once you split that wood, like if the ants are living inside the tree and you split that piece of wood open, the ants go scattering everywhere. But then they don't make their way back into the wood pile. So they don't live like in these split pieces of wood. And I've heard it's because of they're like inside the log for the moisture, and they need the moisture to kind of survive. So once you split that wood open and the moisture's gone, and the wood is stacked and drying, like the ants don't bother it. So I don't have to deal with termites, but sometimes I get logs that are full of ants. But then, like I said, once they're split, they kind of just disappear. Oh, and one other little disclaimer on the footage. I only have like 4 or 5 minutes, so the clip might repeat itself here in a little bit. So hopefully you don't mind. But all of a sudden, if you see that tote all of a sudden become like full again, that's like, wait a minute, what just happened here? All that wood she just stacked is now replaced. And I think it's happening right now. Oh wait, yeah, it is. It did repeat itself. All right, there we go. So we're back to stacking. We restarted the stack. All right, AC. I've been thinking about grading my firewood and selling it at different price based on the grade. Do you think this is a waste of time? Is it better to just mix it in and sell it at one price? That is an interesting question. Anything's possible. You can try anything. You can give it a try, see how it works. The only thing I would be worried about is whether or not the customer would be able to appreciate and understand the different grades of wood and how you grade them. So for example, I can find myself some fabulous looking pine wood, and I can make bundles that look spectacular. And I could say this is grade A campfire wood, even though it's just pine. So there's an example of, you could take something and you can make it seem like it's worth more, and some people will pay more for it. Other people might not. So it all depends on your customer base. And the other thing is it might be tough to then like always have like grade A firewood. So let's say you get some premium stuff in and you sell it, and now all you have is like the B class or the C class stuff. Like that's generally what a lot of your wood is going to be anyway. The one thing you could probably do though is you could probably separate it out by species. So like if you had cherry or hickory or oak, and you kind of cater to like the cooking avenue, like the smokers or cookers, then you might be able to charge a little bit more. But it might be tough just doing like grade A, grade B, or whatever, just with regular firewood, because a lot of the people won't understand, and they really might not. You might just end up always having bargain shoppers that are always just going to buy your lowest grade stuff. Okay, next question. Tim, Back 40 Firewood. Why are all your firewood pieces square and all about the same size? Because I like consistency, and I think it presents much better to have a bundle or even like a loose stack in the wood stand. I think it just looks better when all the pieces are kind of the same size. They're not always square. A lot of them sometimes are, but not, I mean, generally, I mean, there aren't always, I mean, you can kind of see in the stack there's not a lot of square pieces. There's some that are, but I try to keep a consistent size, mostly just for that presentation value. So when somebody picks up a bundle or somebody looks at a loose stack, they don't just, it doesn't look like just a random hodgepodge thrown together mix of, you know, scrap firewood. Now, some people understand firewood's firewood, but when you're catering to the recreational burners, they kind of might have a better eye for, you know, what looks nice. Now, if you remember that video I did about forget everything you know about firewood, and how you just, you know, throw a pile on the ground like, oh, here's some firewood, or you stack it up and make it look nice. I think that brings a little higher value to it and just looks better. Wayne, YouTube is pushing creators for more shorts, and in return they push the shorts to viewers. Do you feel this trend has brought a lot of viewers from people that normally associate with your channel, and the trade-off is a lot of rude comments, but also proportionately new subscribers? Is it worth it in the long run? Excellent question. I'm not sure how many people are interested in knowing like some of the, I guess, strategies. Well, here, just back to that last question. If you see that stack of wood over there now, you see how they're kind of all the same size, how much better that looks than if they're just be like great big chunk, little chunk, big chunk, small, you know, like consistency in appearance, I think is key. So, like I said, I'm not sure how many people are interested in like the whole strategies when it comes to YouTube and how you create content and kind of follow the trends. Some channels, some creators, they just make their stuff and that's it. They don't care. They don't dive into their analytics. They don't worry about little things like, you know, the shorts and the pushing of shorts form content. I do spend quite a bit of time analyzing my data, looking at what's getting viewed, where it's getting viewed, how it's getting viewed. So YouTube does give all this information to you in your Creator Studio. There's a dashboard that will show your analytics. So I do see a huge like jump in discovery. So like I think last month, like 70% of my new viewers came from shorts. So if you take all the new viewers you have, all the new subscribers, all the new followers that you gain in 1 month, and 70% of those are coming from your short form content, then you kind of have to, you know, shift your strategy, and you do have to kind of make more. Well, if your goal is to grow as a creator, and if your goal is to continue to grow your channel and grow your audience, then you kind of have to follow those trends. Now, in 3 months from now, the trend could shift back to long form. But I do see a nice little bump in both the followers and also the views on like longer form content. So I've seen it. It's worked well so far for me. I've seen it, you know, help me, like I said, in discovery and views and everything. A lot of it is coming from YouTube pushing those shorts. So I know some people don't like them. I know a lot of people kind of get irritated by them, but they are a form of content that I think is here to stay for a little while. So just if you can see them in your feed, your subscription feed. If you don't like the shorts, if you don't like the short form stuff, you know, you don't have to watch them. I will continue to make long form videos as well, so don't worry. Even though shorts are here to stay, I'm not going to abandon the long form. I'm just going to continue having a mix of both. So I think that is the last question. And this may have gone a little long, so I apologize for that. But if you have a question, like I mentioned in the beginning, leave it down in the comments. And we'll see next time I do this if I pick it out. Like I said, sometimes it's tough to, grab all of them. Maybe one of these weekends I'll do like an afternoon live stream and just get to all the questions. And I know people who tune into the Friday Night live stream, it's getting harder and harder to keep up with the questions, but I think Friday nights are just more about getting together, hanging out, and having a good time. So if you really have a question you want answered, leave it in the comments of this video, or if you really want to, you can also email me, back40firewood@gmail.com. However, sometimes my email inbox gets as full and backed up as my comments. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys Friday Night Live, right here, 8 p.m. Central. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.
I've been a real bad boy on the town all night.